morning. Yeah, so yesterday um, there was unexpected things, or I kind of anticipate that there's going to be like technical difficulties doing this kind of stuff. And yesterday, the computer was being a pain in the butt. Dave, good morning. Oh, you sent me a request on Facebook. Cool, excellent. I will definitely be clicking on that. I do enjoy going on Facebook, although I kind of have like a like every 2 to 3 days where I actually will like sit down and scroll through and check on friends and laugh at the memes. I really do enjoy the memes on Facebook. Me and Kendra, there's some people we follow on there, and we're like, look, hey, it's a Jim Hall, and you just know that uh, you're in for something good. There's some very uh, brilliant people that I enjoy keeping up with. Christian Carpenter, good morning. Hello. Awesome. Thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. Yeah, I like to get up in the mornings and uh, just hang out, and I'll read, some news articles, try to get informed with the day, and just see what's going on. And then just lurking while you're working. Cool. Right on. Yeah, I do that quite often. Whenever I can afford to listen while I am working, I enjoy to have something going on, whether it's some music or a channel that I enjoy hearing the people um, talk and have their conversations. Yeah. Um, yeah. So yesterday, my internet was working, but my computer was acting like the internet wasn't working. And like I could see all my other devices I was connecting and being able to use it just fine. And had to deal with Windows or Microsoft. Um, and sorting that out is just it can be frustrating. It can be frustrating. And really, I don't really I'm not that big on the Windows. The way it's gone, yeah, got to be a subscriber now and pay like I think it's under $80 a year or something like that. And I don't find it very practical. Like I found myself whenever I had the free version of it, like I'd have to go through use one app to do something and then take it over to another app to do something. I don't know. I was really looking for uh, something that just like puts all the tools in one spot. I have been enjoying the CapCut video editing software. That one has a lot of tools, but yeah, So yeah, that was why I wasn't around yesterday. I'm usually, I think the rhythm that I have started to get into is like Monday through Thursday. I come on here live and just get informed with things and see what the chat has to say. See if there's any um, news articles they want to share. If there's something big going on in the community, you know, I like to stay informed. So that's what this hour is about, really. Or so sometimes I go a little bit longer, or sometimes a little bit shorter. But today is a rainy day, so I'm in no hurry to really go anywhere. Yeah, I got my latte right here. Yeah, I like to make music as well and make little music videos and stuff. And right now, Kendra and I are getting prepared to do a live performance. I'm gonna do the live performance and record it and then upload it because I have seen like where people try to, well, they do it live, and then there's those points where you have the latency issue, and um, I want to put up the cleanest, uncut version of us performing the album Fallacious Thoughts and Behaviors. It's like it's my little challenge to myself, and kind of seeing it, gauging Kendra. Although I know she's got it in her, and actually we are very close to performing it like exactly like how you know I would like to hear us perform it. There's just some little sections that I gotta work out myself, and Kendra's just about got it licked. She's doing very well. Um, and I've always really kind of enjoyed that. I've gotten um, some people that didn't really have any musical interest. They didn't have any instruments, nor did they really want to get any. But they hang out with me long enough, and uh, I try to get them going. Um, and I usually I can succeed. I can get somebody jamming out uh, that may not, usually typically go for, picking up an instrument and playing. But it's been fun. Kendra is uh, picked up playing the bass very well. It's awesome. But yeah, Dave is saying it's sunny here right now. Not getting my hopes up, but if it stays clear, I'm ready for the telescope cam stream to see if some UFOs uh, this evening's. There are some things that happen in the sky that are very interesting. I've seen some things. I've even I think I experienced ball lightning before. Um, okay, like we have our house here. This is our house, and there's a road that's going out in front of the house. And I was on the side of the house looking into the woods, and Kendra and one of our sons was up closer to the road, and the sky lit up so blue I was staring off into the woods, and the woods, inside the woods, lit up, and it was already dark outside. And uh, Kendra and my son were the ones who saw the actual flash happening. But when they described it, it was, when we looked up for the natural occurrence of it's known as ball lightning. But that was intense. That was really intense. It was a blue light, and it lit up the woods. And like, probably another really cool uh, astronomical thing that I've seen was out on Galveston Bay. I parked my van, and I just laid up on top of the roof, and there was a meteor shower that came through, and that was pretty amazing. You know, like I just laid back and enjoyed the nature, and watched as lights streaked across the sky. That was pretty cool because it was happening rapidly. It was uh, more than just seeing like a, a shooting star or something like that. It was pretty amazing. I like doing those outdoor adventures for the most part. Like I don't know if would. I don't know if you could talk me into doing like mountain climbing or anything like that. But I'll take a good hike. You know, up it up a steep grade. I can handle that. Um, yeah, just getting out there and enjoying the outdoors and things. But yeah, I found a couple of news articles. Um, one thing I'm pretty sure y'all everybody's pretty much aware that Hamas and Israel are fighting, and we still have the Russian and Ukraine issue going on as well. So that's still a thing. It's happening. But I did find some other news articles. I went through the technology stuff, but a lot of the technology stuff, uh, it seems like they're just trying to sell me stuff. A lot of it, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but uh, I don't really have I don't know. Ball lightning or plasma lightning are neat events. Never saw it myself, only in videos. Yeah, David saying just once I would like to see religions of peace demonstrating that they are. Yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Islam is supposed to mean that they are the religion of peace. Like that's like what the name entitles. Um, yeah, it is mind-boggling, the mental gymnastics that people will go through. But it doesn't seem very peaceful to me at all. It was in my local news. I uh, had mentioned it some days ago, um, where a mother had seen a Facebook post, or maybe it was Instagram, on social media, a social media post, and she didn't have her head covered, and the mother didn't like that, and she got mad at her, uh, the way she cooked a pita bread and burnt her with the grill, and we acted violent towards the young daughter, and she was prosecuted. They, that news article had it to where it showed her in court. But yeah, if you're like trying to make somebody be a certain way, um, my hat's off to you. Good luck trying, because some people are pretty damn stubborn in being who they want to be. But whenever you start trying to make somebody else be who you want them to be, I would say, hey, you might want to self-reflect and uh, maybe be the change that you want to see in somebody else. You know, like I, if I'm making any damn sense right there, I, like trying to make somebody, you know, in a forceful, violent way, trying to make somebody be a certain way is heinous. It's very questionable. Um, yeah. So, and I've been having uh, new ideas, put forth to me about like projection and um, like this scenario where you're walking in a crowded place and somebody bumps into you. What is your initial reaction? Are you uh, thinking that they are just being careless and you know being unaware of their surroundings? Are you looking at that person like they've done you wrong, or you know do you have a way of looking at it to where you're like, I'm in a crowded place, somebody bumped into me. Like we can project our emotions onto other people and oftentimes be wrong about that. But yeah, I've been doing a lot more of the inward kind of look. Where am I wrong? And I think I'm kind of chill here in that kind of like mindset for a little while, because I don't um I want to try to be to where I don't blow up angrily on things and other people. So I've been trying to really work on that. But yeah, one thing I did see here, I put the link to the article in the chat right up here. This one that I had found is for the eclipse, and ones from Popular Science by Raul Rayo. And this is going to be on October 14th. Today is the 11th. We're almost there. The Western Hemisphere will witness an annular solar eclipse. The moon will be too small and far away in our view to totally block out the sun's disk. Instead, it will blot out its center, leaving a ring at the edges. The best locations to view that ring of fire in the sky will be along a path that cuts through Oregon, Texas, Central America, Colombia, and finally northern Brazil. You might decide to visit Albuquerque, where you'll experience exactly 4 minutes and 48 seconds of the annular eclipse. Yeah, I will be able to see this, you know, given that I had the right conditions. If it's not all cloudy and stuff and it's blocking my view to where I can't see nothing. Although that would probably have to be some pretty strong cloud coverage. I don't know. I don't know exactly what kind of weather I'm looking at on the 14th. And if you're seeking a true total eclipse, you'll only have to wait another 6 months, because on April 8th of 2024 at 2:10 Eastern, uh, Mazatlan, Mexico, will become the first city in North America to see most of the sun vanish in the shadow. The path of totality then arcs through Dallas and Indianapolis into Montreal, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland in Canada. We know all of these precise details and more thanks to our knowledge of where the moon and the sun are situated in the sky at any given moment. Yeah, it is all been predictions based upon those formulas, and things continue to keep on lining up. They've gotten uh, down. And I would say that's a theory, because they're facts to um, the theory, and you can demonstrate the whole process. It can be replicated and it's observable. Just saying, you know, that is useful knowledge. In fact, we can predict and map eclipses farther into the future, even centuries from now, because they know the precise positions of the moon and sun and how they shift over time. Scientists can project the moon's shadow into the Earth's globe, and with cutting edge computers, it's possible to chart eclipse paths down to the range of a few feet. A solar eclipse needs three things. From our vantage point on Earth, so to predict an eclipse, you must know where and how the sun, moon, and Earth move in relation to each other. This isn't quite as elementary as it may seem, because the solar system isn't flat. The moon's orbit slants about 5 degrees in relation to the sun, which astronomers call the ecliptic, and the sun around a month, which we would call that a new moon. the two rarely seem to cross paths. But a broken clock is right twice a day, right? It, solar eclipses can only occur when the moon is at one of the 2 points where the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic, known as the node. If the moon, the result is a solar eclipse. In centuries past, trying to predict eclipses meant predicting minute details of finicky orbs. But as astronomers learned more about the celestial objects as they move, they began tabulating what they call ephemerides, predicting when planets will be in the sky. Ephemerides. See, I just found a word that I'm like uh, kind of confused on the pronunciation. But the ephemerides are still the key to eclipse prediction. Heck yeah. So we're going to have some. Um, good morning, Pixie. Hello. Good morning. And Deconverted Man. Good morning. And we got Big Z in the house as well. Good morning, y'all. I've just been waking up and checking things out. Good morning, all of y'all. Uh, Deconverted Man saying, Tobin, I had talked to a flat earther guy, was super baffled he had that stance, so didn't ask him anything much. If that happens again, what questions would you ask a flat? Mm. You know, um, one of the last flat Earth debates I saw was Aaron Raw, and this one guy, he's somewhat popular on the YouTubes for being a flat earther, and a model. Can you show me a model of how that works? That would be my question. It um to get them to think about that. I gotta pull this off. I'm taking that off. Ah, oh, I feel a little bit more cool air. That was a little bit warm. I would say, yeah. Can you show me a model? Is there a working model that can help us make predictions? Can we have something that we can observe and keep track of? Let's see. Yeah, good morning, all of y'all. Yeah. So yeah, I was just talking about the eclipse happening, and um, I, I'm I can't wait to see some of the pictures, the high resolution pictures that we're getting with technology now are just amazing, spectacular, fantastic. Like I like that kind of visual stimulation for sure. And I know I got some friends out there with some pretty cool cameras. I I wish it's true that y'all can snap some good pictures of it. Um, yeah, I did see your mortal coil. That was deep. That was deep. Theoretical. Hey, good morning. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So we got the eclipse coming on the 14th, which that should be pretty cool to experience. I got another piece that I actually I saw this yesterday morning and was going to talk about it, but things happen and I was unable to get onto the internet yesterday. But in Huntsville, Texas, now they like things really big in Texas, and in fact there is a huge statue of Sam Houston right off of the 45 freeway, the highway. It is 45, right? Yeah, I think, yeah, it's 45. It's a big freaking statue. I can't remember how tall it is, but this one right here, they're gonna put up 120-foot cross. Will be the tallest statue piece in Huntsville. The privilege of um, to be able to build something this massive. The Sam Houston statue in Huntsville may be 77 feet tall, but this cross will surpass it. Say what? Oh, it right there in the first sentence. It says the Sam Houston statue is 77 feet tall. Um, wow. All right, and they're gonna build 120-foot cross. And it looks like they're using concrete construction. 120-foot cross is being built at Northside Baptist Church in Huntsville. The cross weighs 47,000 pounds and is 64 feet wide. The construction, wow, hang on. I'm just kind of soaking that up right there. And is 64 feet wide. Wow. Really? Seriously? It's bigger than this house. Wow. Actually, whenever I think about the square footage of this place, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We're talking about 18, less than 20 feet on my exterior walls going in one direction. I think it's pretty much square. So uh, that is massive, 64 feet wide. And I know they got one in Houston too that is on the 610 loop, but I don't think it's anywhere close to how this is. Um, The construction began last Monday and will finish next week. Wow. Wow. And that is pretty damn quick. Mike Rozier, the owner of Rozier Construction, talks about the why behind the construction of the cross. If one person comes by and looks at this cross and stops and thinks about what Jesus Christ did for him on that cross, and he has a conversion moment and his life is changed for an eternity, but my price tag on it, you can't. You can't put a price tag on it, he said. You know, but what it speaks to me is just how overly privileged you are to use that much material, that much concrete, and all the rebar, all the metal that I'm assuming is going into the construction of this. I wish it's true that there is been rigorous safety precautions because we're talking about 120-foot cross going up in the sky. You better make sure that thing stands upright. What will it hit if it doesn't? You know, have the ability to stand. Uh, yeah, you have changed my life for eternity, but not in the way that you wanted to. There, Buckaroo, Mr. Mike Rozier, uh, the senior pastor of Northside Baptist Church, Regan Cooksey, said he hopes this cross reminds people of what Jesus did on the cross. What we want to do is to remind people of the gift of Jesus Christ. We don't do this to honor me or the church or Mike. We do it to honor the Lord Jesus and the gift he has given us on the cross. And we hope that every time someone passes by here and sees this big cross, they'll be reminded of Jesus and his big sacrifice for us. The cross will go up next week and will be the third giant cross to be built in Texas. So they're all trying to like outdo each other. Who's got the biggest cross? You know, who's got the biggest cross? We need to make a gigantic cross so big that you can climb into outer space on the motherfucker. No, but really, you know what would have been more impressive for Jesus to do on the cross instead of die like everybody else? You know, if there was a Jesus, and if that Jesus wasn't thrown into a mass grave like they did a lot of people who were they're criminals, it would have been much more impressive if he didn't die on the cross and he pulled himself down and he continued to live today and we could have a cup of coffee with him. And so he can explain some shit that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go back over here to the chat. Let me see what's going on over here. Let's see. Yes, there is pumpkin pie in Texas. Yeah, and if you go uh, into my videos, it wasn't that long ago. Um, I showed my pumpkin patch that was unexpected. It started growing up from last year's pumpkins that we carved and put outside and let rot. Um, we had some pumpkins pop up and we made some pumpkin pie. I ate raw pumpkin for the first time. Like, I don't know why I hadn't been doing this before, but raw pumpkin is delicious. It's got a crispness to it, it's crunchy, and when you bake it down, and make it all soft, you can make this really desirable pumpkin pie out of it. It's awesome. Big Z asked, how is Sam Houston? Am I supposed to call him if I have a problem in my spaceship? Yeah. Yeah, Sam Houston, he's looking pretty stiff. Yeah, that's a pretty good description, I think. Very very stiff. Uh, Good morning, Dr. Mordecai. Yeah, waste of money but lots of fun for the Christians. See what Theo says. Oh, it jumped on me. Let me go back up. Theoretically says, is the size of the cross proportional to its epiphany? Oh, hang on. I'm going to have to look up this word right now. I have to do it. Epiphany. Epip. Oh, epiphany. Am I saying that right? Can you say it for me? Epiphany. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I am familiar with that word. The manifestation of Christ to the Gentiles as represented by the Magi. Yeah, that's strange. Like, I always kind of thought of that word epiphany as like an idea that just came across like, oh, this is a really great idea. I don't know. That's how I used that word before. They're saying the manifestation of Christ to the Gentiles. Hmm. I did not know that that was a religion, that the tie that word has to religion. That's crazy. Huh. Interesting. Um, Pie is good. Big Z is saying Catholics won't like it because it's a cross, not a crucifix. But Catholics do sometimes use crosses. Um, yeah, Christians with such large crosses have something to compensate for it. Yeah, lots of free fish. I carved up pumpkins and let it rot. That is true, Big Z. I've done that before, many times, multiple times. I mean, it wasn't until this pumpkin patch that we're like, we have pumpkins, and we're like, well, what can we do with it? Not only did we make a really nice pie with it, but we also made bread with part of one, and some of it got cut up and just ate on top of the salad. Really good. Maybe that pumpkin died for the sins of other pumpkins. Yeah. Oh, good morning, Silver. Good morning. Howdy do. Why eat pumpkin pie when there's better pie to eat. Mm. There are some pretty tasty pies out there. Just across in Texas, he is slacking. Yeah, there is other crosses out there that are massive, towering. I just wish it's true that they do the work to make sure that that thing is stable while it's standing up there. Uh, Pixie is saying, Groom has the cross and the walk of Christ to the cross in little stations. Blueberry pie is a very good. That's another one. Is I you know most pies I do enjoy. Um, Even like chicken pot pie. I even go for that too. That's that's pretty good. Got to run. It's already 3 p.m. in Old World. Thanks for stopping by, Theo. Yeah, I think if I was gonna say there's my least favorite pie would probably be a key lime pie. But although I've had some really good key lime pies too before, um, flavors are interesting though. Like my kid was playing around with making a lemon loaf, which that smells really good. He was playing with that, and he tried mixing lemon juice and um, cream cheese. It was lemon juice and cream cheese, and he wanted to put it on top of that. But the two flavors were like just fighting each other. Uh, One of the last things I got kind of disappointed at, I thought it was such a great idea at the time. I was like, malt and coffee, a coffee malt. And not saying that it couldn't be done, but that was hideous. Like, whoa, like, like that did not belong together. Dave's got some blueberry bush. Yeah, I started one. I had one going, but the deer, I'm assuming it's the deer, came by and ate it to where it was like just a couple of leaves left. Like, and it had gotten like this tall. I was like, yes, blueberries. I got to make a way to where the deer don't get my stuff. They have ravaged my stuff more than once. It was a couple of seasons ago. We had a bunch of snap peas growing, and those were so good. We were just like picking them off of the little bush. And we went out there one morning, and it was just little stubs sticking up off the ground. The deer got it. They had a nice little meal. Yeah, yeah. Those were the two news articles that I'd seen um, here at the beginning. before I started actually streaming. Let's see what else is going on in the world today. What's going on out there? Is there anything that I should be aware of that is happening? If there's something going on, I'm definitely interested to know. I'm looking through this news tab right here. Hmm. And there's some storms that have been hitting here. And oh wow, I'm looking at some old news back from May 9th. What the heck? I want current events. Let's see stuff that's happening today. I'm looking. Just a lot of stuff is surrounding the Israel and Palestine conflict. I actually did work for some brothers that were from the Gaza Strip. Um, they were nice guys. Um, One thing that they would do that would drive me crazy while we were driving is the dude. Uh, I I can say this is true for one of the brothers. I remember more than one car ride with him that I was like, "Whoa, this is nuts!" Like having two phones and like dealing with two phones and driving at the same time, using his knees, like being on the freaking highway and shit. Like it would drive me crazy out. Be like, dude, I can answer one of these for you, dude. Because we did the roadside assistance, and we did have some times where things were popping off, like people needed help. There's a lot of cars to move around. Business was popping, but that would drive me crazy. Like I did not like that at all. Looking for something. Looking for something. See something out of Oklahoma City. KOCO. Let's see. Poppy seed and orange glaze. Yeah. Dr. Mordecai says UN warns worsening climate crisis will displace millions more children. Israel's barbaric bombardment is part of the ethnic cleansing campaign. Yeah. And that conflict is old, 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 old. That has been going on for a long time. Um, and I don't really know what I can really add to that. Um, Pixie says, I have always found it weird we tend to make the instigator the victim. Yes, some things are not always what they appear to be. There's so many people with different agendas pushing information out there. Can be very, um, it can be work to really get down to the nitty gritty, uh, nuts and bolts to those kind of situations. I'm gonna check out this news story here at KOCO News 5 ABC. Um, this is by Alyssa Jones, and it was put out October 10th, 2023. So, after 35 years of wrongful conviction, justice prevails for an Oklahoma man. So, he was convicted of a sexual assault and a burglary in 1987. Perry Lott was wrongfully convicted of the assault and burglary years behind bars, and on Tuesday, his conviction was finally vacated. Lott said he always knew the day would come. He said he didn't know how it would sound, what it would look like, or how long it would take, but he knew the truth would set him free. Perry says, I feel like I'm reborn. I feel like everything is new, especially my opportunities. No more walls. That's a wonderful feeling. And I think the entire state is catching on to removing all those walls and barriers that stop people from being people, Lott said. Lott has spent the past 35 years paying the cost of a crime he never committed. These kind of stories blow me away. Uh, there's oh, it's messed up. One the other ones that I recently came across that is similar to this story. The dude was convicted of murder, and then they found that he was not guilty of the crime after they had convicted him. They released him. They set him out. The dude sets up a lawsuit and is going to get all this money for being wrongly convicted of the crime and doing years of his life, and then commits an actual murder and then gets legitimately busted like um that story was crazy, and that was even like something that was popular on Netflix. They had a whole um TV show about it, but there was a lot of backtracking. That story was crazy though. But Perry right here is saying that connotation of being in a crime like this without being fully exonerated, a lot of doors are shut to you. A lot of opportunities are shut to you. I was content with that, but I was never okay with that. My life was wasted in that prison, but it was not for naught. I learned a lot, and I wouldn't trade what I learned for the world, Lot said. Hmm. He was released in 2018 after DNA test proved his innocence. He goes on to say, it feels like rejection. It still feels like you don't belong because of that dark cloud over your head. Now that that's been removed, I'm sure people's attitudes will change, Lot said. On Tuesday, he was finally set free from that wrongful conviction, a day he spent decades waiting for. I don't look forward to going anywhere or doing anything, but I do look forward. I haven't seen my biggest blessings, but I know it's coming. To be reunited with my family like I've never gone anywhere, to be reunited with my children who are all adults now. I've never gone anywhere. That's a pretty big dream, but I believe it can come true, Lot says. Wow. He's he dedicated the rest of his life to others, to justice, and the truth. And that is admirable, to dedicate your life to justice and truth. Because there's probably a bunch of people who are sitting behind bars that shouldn't be because of um, the lack. I mean, there's all kinds of variables that go into why a case does not get flushed out completely and properly to where they have, you know, good enough facts in order. Yeah, they have no problems admitting it. But that is wild. But yeah, let's see. Pixie saying, I make a lot of sweet breads because I like bread and I don't care for cake because I don't like icing. Right on. Uh, I like making the breads. Making uh, doughs is fun. I like making the pizza pie. We do the pizza pies over here. Um, Although I do like some icing. I will whip up some icing, and I like making whipped topping too, like taking some heavy cream and just some vanilla extract and taking that little hand mixer and get a nice foam going. That's pretty good. Dr. Mordecai is saying yellow cake and chocolate icing rocks. Yeah, I frost my cakes lightly, says Dave. Do I can't do the inch or more frosting thing. Yeah, there is like too much, like, and it just it's not balanced with the cake. A little bit, but and there's also a store uh, icing. It, you know, it's so bad I won't even buy a cake from the store anymore because I'm like, how did y'all make that icing? I'm not sure what they do with that. I'm not sure how they're making it, but something's off with it. It's got a uh, weird aftertaste and a real uh, like film, a thick film. I know, like with heavy cream, you can get that kind of film, but it's very heavy on this particular on store cakes. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that. Dave likes to frost them lightly. Icing is sickly sweet and I find it overwhelming. Right on. Pixie asks, what is justice? Hmm. Without going to Google or anything and looking things up, but justice to me would be holding somebody accountable and responsible for harming somebody else or multiple individuals. Holding somebody accountable for that, and basically to, if need be, remove them from society to where they're not doing it over and over to people, because there are those people that just keep on doing the same offense over and over again. Um, I remember hearing about this one story who a dude was a fake marathon like person and would get a lot of donations from people to do these big races and totally bonk out on them and not even show up, and people would like have invested heavily in him, and he's been caught and even prosecuted, and he's done his time, and he goes on and he does it again. It's um justice is trying to keep it to where we have a fair society, to where um we don't have individuals who are taking advantage of others, and when they are, I would like to think our society puts that to an end or tries to help resolve whatever issue that comes out of that. And why does the justice system lack it? I'm not sure what it, what you're exactly. I have to look back up to see um, what it is lacking. I think at times is what it lacks is like critical thinking in the understanding fallacies and things like that. Because there are some times where uh, these judicial systems and the police and stuff jump to conclusions. They're just looking to pin it on somebody. And there's multiple cases uh, where this has happened repetitively, to where the cops just weren't uh, doing their job, and were just setting their eyes on one person and like going after that one person, and not being aware of, you know like the one of the instances that comes up in my head is like from where I'm at. There is a city, League City, and there is a field known as the Killing Fields, which now um, it's all built on top of now. But there's somebody dropping bodies off in this field, and it went on for a while, and they thought they had the guy, and it turned up they're completely wrong. And they did eventually find somebody that was, I think, was responsible for doing those things. It did get resolved in a way. But yeah, jumping to conclusions, like assuming that you know who done it and you're going by instinct, that to me is dangerous. It is setting yourself up for being wrong, and sorely wrong, especially depending on how confident you are about, you know, whatever is happening. They just jump to conclusions. um Jail is not a vacation. That is correct, Dr. Mordecai. And it's not mandatory. You don't have to go to prison. It's not necessary. People don't need to go to prison. You know, don't have to do that thing. And there's probably a lot of people that shouldn't be in there that are in there because just the lack of due diligence. Yeah, with the big glass of milk, Dr. Mordecai to wash down that goodness. Yeah, yeah. Dave likes to make pizza from scratch. And you got this stuff for the grill this summer. Pizza on the grill is very tasty, and I would agree. I've done that one. We've done that one. Pixie likes doing the homemade whipped cream for the win. Won't touch the store bought stuff. Yeah, I like cooking from scratch and just buying the staples, and you can make quite a few things with those things. Legal, Pixie says, legally speaking, it was restitution. But where there is no restitution, we replace it with vengeance. Only it's about the court win, not the person. Yeah, and that is where that's something I would like to see change to where it's more about the truth and getting down to the matter. And I would even say like these people who are like um, doing very horrendous crimes, like doing mass shootings and stuff like that. You know, there's this idea that we should, just kill that person. Just get the cops in there and gun them down. But I mean, I know there in some situations, it, defending yourself can be, you know, life and death, and I understand that. But I would also like to be able to catch. So I would like to see them catching those people alive, capturing them alive, and really analyzing them and trying to figure out what is going on up there that is making people do this type of thing. You know, is there a way that this can be um, stopped from happening, or at least as much from happening. Dave goes on to say, I have very low opinions of the cops, the lawyers, and the courts in this country. They seem to be in a gang and shit on everyone that isn't a member. Yeah, yeah. We have those pockets around here too, as well. Um, Pixie goes on to say, depends. I was pretty law. I was pretty law because, hang on, so I was going to. Whoa, you were studying law and you were going to be a juvenile court judge, and you ended up getting into paralegal degree. Pre-law. Oh, pre-law. Okay, I should have looked even further down. I see the asterisks there. Uh, that's very admirable. That's awesome. Dave goes on to say, too many holes, but I never say all, some, many, or most, but not all. And I feel all those who try to do it right while their peers make them look bad too. Yeah, those generalization statements where you're like, or some people are like, they're like, oh, the whole group is bad because of this one person, or there's a bunch of different statements that you can arrange to where you're like making a generalization that is just not really true to the spectrum of things that are happening. Yeah, Dr. Mordecai says, lock chump up, lock that dude up, and lock that dude up. And we need to vote. We need people to vote so badly to keep out what the right wing wants to put in place. I've seen some concerning things. It was some days ago. I was talking about Project 2025, and they legitimately have a game plan going to recruit people and get people put in the different positions, and they want to dismantle all of the organizations that have already been made, like FEMA. Like this one, this blows my mind. Why this government department doesn't get more funding and more resources? It it kind of blows my mind. But it's FEMA. Like we're talking about the people who are supposed to help out those who just experienced a natural disaster. And it's wild. Like in Houston, whenever it floods, you literally there are people from the outer counties, you know, that are not in the flood part, bringing their boats in to help pull people out. And they talk about this unity they have, with this struggle, all the people come to help each other out. That's just how we roll down here, down in H Town, you know, which that's fine and dandy. But why dismantle a government program to help with natural disasters. Like, it is horrible going through that. It is so horrible. I don't see why they want to do that. And that's what the right wing has for us. That's what they have planned for us. And it is planned. They have it. They're out in the open saying it. It's not like there is a conspiracy going on, but there are facts to it. There are certain individuals who are making that happen, and it's it's wild. There really is this type of struggle happening. And it's not necessary. It's really not. See, Dr. Mordecai says Pixie Storms has lots of papers and books. And Pixie says this is true. I love books so much I have to build more shelves. Yeah, I like reading too. I like writing as well. It's good practice and it's a good way to pass time as well. Dave says Trump wants to flood the forest in California so they are moist and don't catch fire. It's like a 5-year old's imagination that I would give credit to the 5-year old for, but not a grown adult. Yeah, it it's disgusting. It is disgusting how disconnected some people are and how the loyalty that they have for an individual that they will completely ignore uh, facts about a person who is doing harm to people, has done, has a history of it, but yet this is the person they want to support. Like, blows me away. You got lots of spirals because you write a lot. Yeah, I've gotten more used to that. Although I still have my notebooks. I have a couple of pads that I've kept that uh, don't have any writing in them yet. That I'm just kind of preserving for that moment in time. So there is a tactile thing to it too, and I get it with drawing as well, like the feeling of the the pen or whatever your medium that you're working through, that the feeling of it, the touch of writing. But I do, on my phone, I have the little notepad, and that thing, I've got so much going on in there. Christian Carpenter would get you a bookshelf. Yeah, and crafting, that's another thing that is can be a joy. My goodness, it's been an hour and 25 minutes, almost an hour and a half. I think I'm starting to feel my energy wane. I think I'm ready for some breakfast. So I think I'm gonna go make me something, and I'm getting kind of low on my latte here. But I wish y'all well-being, and I look forward to these hangouts. And I'll be back around tomorrow. You know, granted that everything goes as planned. and I'll see y'all out there in the good old interwebs. Y'all have a good day. Thank y'all for joining me this morning. Y'all have a good one.